Good evening. Good grief. You know, honestly, it's like every time you turn around, it's something else. My gosh. Good evening, everybody. You probably did not get the notice because I don't know if it went out, but you should be getting one now popping up on your phone or whatever saying that I am live. Here I am. I'm tired. My husband and I have been traveling for the last 2 months. I've got more business to take care of next month. Around the third week of the month, I'll be gone again. And I tell you, between medical appointments, business, and ministry, I've just been on the move. So, anyhow, I got my priorities in order, though. I tell you that. And I would suggest you do the same. Okay, so let me just give you guys. I'm sorry, I'm fidgeting with my clothes. Everything's backwards on the screen. So, anyway, whatever. I'm tired, like I said. And no, I'm not watching the debate. That's why I'm on here. And for you guys that are watching the debate, which I think is tonight between the two vice presidential candidate peoples, have fun with that. I'm not watching it because I don't care. I think by now most people have their mind made up which team they're batting for. So, I know what each side stands for. They're diametrically opposed in their views. I know what kind of country I want to live in. So I don't have to hear no more talk from either side about what they believe, what they think, and what they're going to do because I already know how I'm going to vote. So, no, I'm not wasting my time with that tonight because it's just going to make me mad. But anyhow, you know the drill. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you had not subscribed already. And if this is your first time, welcome to the channel. I should say welcome to the conflict. Welcome to the jungle because we get real, we get live, we get raw on here. So it's not for the faint of heart and it's not for, you know, really sensitive people. I just want to say. Anyway, all right. Just make sure, just make sure that you let me know where you're signaling from, and I will get into a couple of the things that I wanted to touch base with you guys about tonight. First of all, well, there's a strike going on. There's a hurricane that has gone on, and another one coming in that same path, is what I'm told. So this has been a very interesting uh, couple of days going on here because there's so much going on, and I feel sorry for people that are. Uh, this isn't a slam, okay? I'm just saying I really feel bad for people that are emotionally weak or unstable because this could really push somebody over the edge. The stuff that's going on now, if they don't know how to mentally and emotionally cope with the challenges that are happening um, to our nation and other nations around the world, this if you're not a strong person inside, this will make you want to go underground or make you want to put your head under the pillow and never get out of your bed because it's a mess out there. Now it's not affecting me like that, but I do understand how it could affect someone like that. Um, the devastation that has happened concerning this hurricane, that I think, I understand that there are natural phenomena, okay, but I don't put anything past the technology that we have today. Now, I know some idiot will come on here and say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, you tell that to the people that have lost everything, okay? They don't care how it came about. It came about, right? I have my opinion about how it came about. Do I think that our government and Other governments might capitalize on an already bad situation. As they say, never let a bad situation go to waste, or however that quote goes. I don't put anything past our government. I really don't. And I haven't for a long time. So I think I know what they're capable of. And yeah, you better find out, okay, what they're capable of. Just, check it out. Um, that storm has, last count I heard, there was like 130 something people that were dead and over 600 people missing still. I don't, that was earlier today, and I'm sure that those numbers have changed. But, we need to pray for our nation. We need to pray for the nations around the world. They are really trying to get us in a hot war between Iran and Israel, and I believe our government is funding both sides of it. Um, let's just face it: when we can leave all kinds of equipment in Afghanistan, in a country that we had taken possession of for over 20 years, and we just left them all of our most modern equipment. I have that, you talking about aiding and abetting the enemy. I have no doubt that our country and this administration and the military industrial complex is funding both sides of this mess that's going on in the Middle East right now. Because war is money. They don't care anything about sending your loved ones out there to fight for them so that they can gain oil or gold or gas or whatever it is they want to line their pockets. And the fact that your loved one die in the midst of all that is just collateral damage. They don't care. Okay. They don't care. And I don't know how many times I got to come on here and tell y'all they do not care about you. Okay. They just don't. And to me, it's a joke at this point if somebody doesn't see that. I mean, the joke's on them. If they really don't see that this government cares nothing about your welfare, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I wish I had some fake stocks I could sell you. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, in regard to, and I'm all over the map right now because I was going to talk about that a little bit later. Make sure you sign in and click the thumbs up so I'll know that you're here. It helps push the channel out so that other people can see what we're talking about on here, and let me know where you're signing in from. Anyway, the devastation. I don't know if you've seen the videos on television or not, but there is, we had some bad stuff happen here in Oklahoma City with the bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah building and the tornado that ripped through a couple of our towns, and it just literally leveled one whole strip mall. They just didn't build there. They never rebuilt there. Then all of the babies that were killed in this elementary school not too far from here, a couple of an hour or so from here. We've had our share of devastation, and then of course the storm that went through my town last year. There was rotation because I saw it out of my front window that tore my roof off, half my house, so, or or our house, whatever. And it took us 5 months to get all those repairs done, which was a nightmare because we had these jackleg, oh my God, workmen that just had no work ethic whatsoever. They got the work done, but I ended up firing them as soon as I could get my house to a point where I could live with it or we could finish stuff ourselves. We got rid of them. But at any rate, the devastation that I experienced last year with the storm we went through here is absolutely nothing in comparison to what these people are going through. I mean, they have nothing left. It's astounding what that water has done. There were a few houses that were up on, I don't want to call them stilts. I don't know what you call them, but they were raised up in the air and they were able to weather the storm and the flooding. But they can't, I mean, I don't know if the people are still there, if they evacuated or whatever. But it's just devastating. And if you haven't seen that, you need to look at it so that you can get a better idea. And I'm told by people that have been there that is even what you see on video does not do it any justice. It's terrible. It is absolutely awful. And I'm praying for those people because this is where, now I already know the comments that are going to come from this, but I will say this is where having a lot of preps and stuff come in handy. It didn't help these people, okay? Even if they did, their stuff, unless they were up on stilts, got washed away. But for people who do have extra now, this is where prepping comes in handy. Okay? This is where you can help someone else because you have extra. You see what I mean? So it's not just about you and your family, it's about being able to help other people if the Lord should move on your heart to do so. And he's blessed you with extra to do it with. Hi Beverly. So there's a lot going on. There's a whole lot of pain going on in our country right now. I would not be surprised if there was a whole lot more of this going on. Uh, we're just a few days away, like a month away from one of the most important elections of my lifetime. And I wouldn't be surprised if they upped the ante and a whole lot of other crazy stuff went on just so that we could not get to the polls and vote. Don't even get me started on that. Good evening. Me too. Welcome to the channel. Um, so there's so much going on. I was thinking today, I don't even know where to start because there's so much going on. Next month I have a speaking engagement out of town, and I'll be gone for that, the third week of the month. And it's like I don't even know where to start. I know what they want me to talk about, but there's so much going on till I have to narrow it down because I only have so much time to talk. But I just want to encourage you guys. Listen, with this strike that has just happened with the longshoremen, if you know the longshoremen are, they're truckers, okay? These guys feel like they've been done wrong. Okay, I don't know what their contract is about. I'm not up on any of that. I know this. I know nothing gets to the shelves without trucks. I know that. And I know that if they say we will shut down this whole country unless you give us what we want, which is what the president said, not our president, the CEO, okay, of the unions. We will shut down the whole country. We will shut the whole thing down. I thought, and that's exactly what he's done. So here's the problem with that. Unless people have their own private trucks to get food and water and supplies to these children and these families that have nothing, you're talking about this is a critical situation. There's already shortages going on. They've been killing off livestock and stuff, our government has, for the last few years. There's always something wrong with the chickens. There's always something wrong with the cows. There's always something wrong with our food. And so my question is this. If our food is always this screwed up and our livestock and everything is always this screwed up, why is it that the FDA is always approving everything? Okay. Why is this stuff even hitting the shelves? Then all of a sudden they want to recall everything. And then it disappears into the ether over into Ukraine or to the border or to the shelters or somewhere else other than where the American citizen can buy it. Why is that? What? I don't even, oh Lord, let me stop. Yes. So Beverly says, aren't they affecting themselves as well? Well, yeah. It depends. You talking about the longshoremen? It depends. It depends on whether they're prepped up or not. Because they've been talking about this for a little while, right? So you got to figure. It's kind of like if you get a notice from your job that they're shutting down in, in 2 months, or they're going out of business or whatever it is, right? Aren't you going to do everything you can before you hit that deadline to make sure that you're in a good place? You're going to do everything you can, right? So all these people that work for the union have probably done what they can do to make sure their families are secure, at least for what they feel they can do, a reasonable amount of time, perhaps. I don't know. But this is why some people um, have stacked gold and silver and stuff like this. Because when things get shut down like this and the money starts losing its value and all this crazy stuff starts going on, you have to have their feelings are we got to have something to protect our assets. So they'll change things over from fiat currency to what they feel is real money, God's money, gold and silver and stuff like that. And you're right, you can only prep for so long unless you have warehouses, somewhere that are full of stuff. Nobody can do but so much in their own home. My concern is for people that haven't done anything. Um, I mean, I don't understand what people need to see, because some people say, well, there's nothing left at the end of the month when I get finished doing this or I get finished doing that. You may have more than what you think. We don't know. We're creatures of comfort, right? For the most part, humans do not like to give up their comfort. And there could be things going on with you or your family or whatever that is such a natural part of your life till you don't even look at it like it's a privilege or something like that. You just look at it like it's something that you've always done. When my husband and I first got married and we were living in Canada, we made frequent trips. I don't know, it might have been once a week or something like that to the movies, or I don't know how often it was. But I wasn't paying attention to what we were spending because he was always paying for the tickets, right? And then because we had a business there, and sometimes I would ride with him when he was out taking care of business. I would stay in the car and let him go talk with his clients and all that. And we would go to lunch, right? We had our favorite restaurants that we would go to. And let me tell you, and this was years ago, that it wasn't nothing for us to spend $75 for lunch. Not because we were extravagant, but because it was just expensive in Canada. It was just expensive. But I wasn't paying attention to that. And then one of these days, it just hit me. And I'm thinking, what are we spending every month in lunch and movies? Just going out to eat and going to the movies. And let me tell you what, I was absolutely shocked over how much money we were hemorrhaging just doing that. Just doing those two things and going to Starbucks, which I absolutely hate their coffee. But he liked it, so we went. I would eat their pound cake, but I didn't eat coffee. Now I don't give them my business at all, and haven't for over 10 years. But anyway, when I saw how much money we were blowing, I thought, no, oh no, we need to brown bag it. If I'm gonna be going with you, we need to take our lunch with us because this ain't working. No. And then we cut down our whole movie thing to like once a month. Then we cut that down to go to Walmart, go into the $5 bin and buy a movie, right? You can watch it as many times as you want. $5. We can do that. So I said all that to say that people are hemorrhaging money just trying to stay comfortable. And it hadn't occurred to them that they may need to move some things around. And when you move those things around and you want to put it somewhere reasonable, go buy some food, right? That has a long shelf life and put it on your shelf. Because I'm telling you, folks, when these trucks, we do not know how long these people are going to be striking. We don't know. But like I said, ain't nothing getting to the shelf. I don't care if it's an auto parts store, a hospital, food, whatever, nothing moves without trucks. It just doesn't. So Anyhow, people better get a clue. How long have I been on here saying you better prep, you better prep, you better prep? And then you get these weak minded, can't deal with reality people. Oh, you just a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you just fear mongering. What you afraid of? I ain't scared. You know why? Because I saw the handwriting on the wall and I started taking action. Okay, I ain't scared. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not worried. I'm concerned about others who haven't taken this seriously enough. Or there is also that demographic that they're literally living from paycheck to paycheck. They don't have any vices. They're not going to the movies. They're not doing any of that. They got babies they got to feed, and there is nothing left over, right? What I would say to those people is you have to learn to cook differently, and when you shop, you have to shop differently, right? Like things that you normally would buy that you can't afford to buy now because it costs too much. You have to learn to cook differently. It would do you good to go online. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm telling you, because I've done this, right? Just to see how it would work out. Go online and look up Great Depression era cooking. And it will show you different recipes, different things that people did during the Great Depression when where food was very scarce and people still made it, right? But they had to learn to cook differently. Now, the difference between then and now is that we had a lot more agriculture going on. We had a lot more farmland and all that going on in the 20s and 30s than what we do now. Now we have, all these skyscrapers and apartment buildings that have taken up all the land, and they're still trying to take up all the land. They're still trying to grab land from farmers and homeowners and all this kind of stuff. But that's the difference between now and then. Those people grew a lot of their own food. They knew how to can food. They knew how to. The generations that are coming up now, I listen. I don't know how they're gonna make it because they don't know how to do nothing except be offended. Think everybody's a racist. Think everybody's out to get them. Confused about their sexuality and pissed off with their parents. So I don't know what to tell you about that. Except everything that I know is not because I was raised in a household like that. I'm a city girl. I was raised in the city. I wasn't raised in the hood, but I was raised in the city. I was raised up in pretty much like an Irish neighborhood, and but my mother, she didn't have a canner or anything like that. My grandmother did, but I never saw her use it. I just saw what I know now is what they call it, All American. I don't know if it was the same company back then. It seemed like it looked the same now that I look back on it. I didn't know what that thing was, and I'd never seen her use it. I thought it was going to eat me. I was scared of it. But, I watched Frankenstein movies, and that thing had things that you screwed down. And it reminded me of the bolts that went in Frankenstein's neck. So I always thought that thing was going to eat me. But anyway, these kids today, they don't know how to pressure can food. They don't know how to water bath food. They don't know how to water glass eggs. They don't know how to do anything. They know how to turn on their computers and they know how to be on their iPads or whatever they call them now, but they don't have life skills. They don't know how to survive. And so when you have an opportunity, this would be a good opportunity to try to teach some young buck how to do something where they be able to survive. Now, back to the longshoremen. I don't know what their contracts were. I don't know if they've been working without a contract. All I know is when the trucks stop moving, people go hungry. That's what I know. And what you see on the shelf now at your store is all there's going to be for the foreseeable future if they cannot come to an agreement concerning their pay and whatever all else their demands are. So my question to you is, since you know this is going on, what are you doing about it? Are you doing anything about it? Are you talking to your family and telling them? Because some people don't even watch the news for various reasons. Some people just feel like, I just can't take no more negativity. And some other people feel like all they do is lie. All they ain't lying about this, okay? if if it's on the news that these longshoremen going on strike, that is not a lie. They are on strike. I had a call today from a trucker. They're striking. Okay, that's it. That's a wrap, Jack. There are no more fans for the crap to hit. That's it. They are striking, and that's it. So you need to get to a store. You need to make sure you have water as much as you can afford to get. And let me tell you, why am I saying that? I'm saying that because in light of everything else that's going on, our country has been invaded by over 120 countries. Okay. I mean, we got folks here, we don't even know who they are, but we do know that they don't mean us no good. Now, is that all of them? No. But do we know who they all are? No. So the fact is, when you can't even park a truck at a rest stop without your tires getting slashed. I saw a news article about that today. I had a former trucker call me and was telling me about it. That the truckers' tires, they wake up, they pull off the side of the road, they try to get some rest, they get up the next day, all their tires are slashed. Why? That's not an accident, folks. Okay, we are under siege. We are under siege, and we're under siege because the current government wants to take our country to its knees. Okay? Now, so you want to vote for that in the next few weeks, you go right ahead. Because when they come to your door, I want to see how you singing their praise then. Okay? When they come to your door, when they kick your door in, when they want to take your stuff or rape your daughter or you or your husband or whoever else they want to rape because they think they're entitled to us, I want to see how you feel about your vote then, or how confused you are about who you should vote for then. See, what kind of America do you want to live in? That's where we're at. Where do you want to live? Where do you want your offspring to live? What kind of a life do you want them to have? Because you can see what's happening right now. We have veterans on the street. I mean, and this is not a new phenomenon, okay? The Department of Veterans Affairs in several states is under investigation because of their neglect of our veterans and because of all kinds of stuff that's going on. They are under investigation in a whole lot of states, and and because they mistreat us, they mistreat the veterans. Now, I haven't been mistreated. I did have a quackadoodle doctor, and I told you I fired her, right? So they know they are not in charge of me. Okay, they ain't in charge of me. I made that clear. They know I'm going to do what I think is best. Okay, we can talk about what they think is best, and then I'm going to do my own research on my own health and get the opinion of other doctors, and then I'm going to do what I think is best, because you know what? I'm a free person. They don't own me. That's just the long and short of it. And when you take the attitude, especially if you're a Christian, that you've already been bought with a price and the government doesn't own you and nobody else owns you, you have a completely different perspective as to how you're going to live your life. Okay. Nobody's going to tell you how you're going to live your life. You make your own decisions. You do whatever, understanding that there are consequences to the choices that you make. Okay. So be it. Praise the Lord. Anyhow, Lord have mercy. Let me see what y'all talking about. What y'all talking about over here? The lemon pound cake at Starbucks is delicious. I haven't had none in years, but it was pretty good. It was good. Their coffee, ugh, yeah, ugh. And it was too expensive. It was ridiculous, and they cheated you with their cups. So there's that. That's true. In regard to the other folks, they did not have the gadgets that we have today. Um, let's see. Do you remember? Mm, I don't know. It could have been 5 years ago or so, when the migrants, when they were coming in caravans, and this was under the previous administration, they were coming in caravans, and the truckers were having problems then because their trucks were getting hijacked. Do you remember that? They couldn't go down the road without these migrants seizing their vehicles, trying to pull them out of their trucks and steal their loads from them. And some of it was done at gunpoint. And the thing and the thing is, it was like there were so many coming, bus loads, and just who was bankrolling all that? Okay, this is not a new thing that's going on. It's just that now, under the current administration, they just bypass the Constitution. They bypass the law. They don't care. So now they want to talk about what they're going to do when they get in the White House. We're going to secure the border. Well, listen, you've been saying all along that the border was secure. See, and you have some shallow thinking people who can look and see what's going on and still believe this administration when they say the border is secure. Well, the border has been secured, but she didn't say who it was secured for, right? The border was secured to let in as many illegal migrants as possible to overthrow this country. The border was secure for the cartels and the gang members that wanted to take over apartment buildings, shelters, and all kinds of stuff. Ask the people that live in New York how safe it is, how safe they feel. And now their mayor is under indictment. Now, this is hilarious, okay? I'm sorry. This is absolutely hilarious that the mayor is under indictment for fraud and for this and for that and for the other, because this is the same man that went on television a few years back, a couple of years back, and was talking about how he was for sanctuary. We're a sanctuary city. New York wants to welcome everybody that wants to come. And then he goes in front of the city council and says, this isn't sustainable. Wait a minute, hold on. Because the cities and the states that say we ain't a sanctuary, nothing for illegal migrants, start busting them there. All of a sudden, he had a problem when he started running out of money and started having to take money away from well, they were already defunding the police. Do you see the how diabolical this is? Because before any of this happened, you have these liberal mayors, congressmen, all these people at the state level and the city level that were trumpeting the idea of defunding the police. Now let me just tell you something. They're playing the long game here, okay? Because when they started defunding the police, they knew that when you do that, it will weaken any society. It'll weaken any society. So if you defund the police, you're destroying your law and order. And then you open the borders. And then when you have criminals and the mentally ill coming from over 120 something countries into your city and into your state, creating all kinds of havoc, and you have the vice president and her lobbyist groups and all this kind of stuff going down to the jail and bailing out the criminals that have been caught on camera brutalizing police officers and raping children and women and men, and you go and pay for them to come out of prison. I don't even understand how a clearer a message can get across to the citizens of this nation that this government has created treason, committed treason against you. Okay, they have betrayed you. It's just that simple. So, like I've been saying for the last few years, you are on your own. All right, you need to sit down, have a conversation with your family if you can, because things can get to a point where you can't even talk to your family. That's just a wrap. Okay, you can't talk to them. They don't want to listen. They think you crazy. They're staring the truth right in the face. They got their hate on for somebody who really wants you to eat, wants you to prosper, wants you to be in health, and they can't stand the guy. It's just that's the kind of mental illness we're dealing with in our society. It's crazy. It's nuts. Anyhow, hi, Amber. Listen, What else did I want to tell y'all? Because I just be going off on a thing. Let me see here. I did put some notes down. Let me get back to New York for a minute because I have some subscribers that live in New York. And I was talking with one lady, and she was telling me that the Lord was really speaking to her and telling her and her family what they needed to do to prepare for hard times and to be safe. And I really appreciate that. I think people really need to be listening to their heart and their head on this, because this isn't just about natural disaster. It's about not just this government, but other governments around the world that are sabotaging their own countries because they want a completely different fabric. They have a different idea of how the country should be run. Okay, they think that some unelected group of people that you have never met, have never seen, and they've never seen your medical records should be able to tell you when you can get medical assistance and when you can. And they should be able to tell you when it's time for you to die without you having any decision in it. This is where we're at. This is the madness that we're living in right now. So, listen, folks, I don't know what to tell you that I haven't said to you before. You have better be paying attention to what's going on. You got to have a talk with your family if you can. And if you cannot, look, talk to me. Okay. My email address is in the description box. I will write you back. Write me. Okay. If you need some ideas as to what to do, I might need to know a little bit more about your situation. And I'll be happy to speak to you on the phone if I need to do that too. But you gotta get a move on, folks, because what you see on the shelves in the stores is what's there. That's it. And when their storehouses run out, that's a wrap. There ain't nothing else coming until we can get this situation straightened out. And even when we do, even if the union gets this situation straightened out concerning the longshoremen, there's still the excessive recall of food and all this kind of stuff. People are people are just sending stuff back. I remember a couple of years back, they did a recall on canned. It was something in the can. I can't think of what it was, but it was so ridiculous. It's like if you knew anything about food service, which I used to teach food sanitation and safety, listen, you would know that what they said was a lie. It was an overblown lie. And and I thought to myself, I just want to sit back and see. I would like to be a fly on the wall to see how many people go into their cabinets and start ripping stuff off their shelves and taking it back to the store and getting their money back, or just taking it back to the store, whatever. If they, I just, because that ain't how that works. Okay. If something is wrong with a canned good, that can will be leaking or it will be swollen or there will be some indication that something is wrong with the food inside. Okay. Or when you open it, you'll know because it'll smell off. Okay. You've been eating your whole life, so you know what food's supposed to smell like. And they were just watching. I just thought I need to see this. I just need to see how many people are going to fall for this one, and they're gonna encourage people and manipulate them to empty their own shelves. Okay, they don't want to be bothered with coming to your house door to door taking your food. They'll just throw out some kind of scare tactic and make you empty out your own cabinets. I thought, Lord have mercy, what is next? They ain't got no end to their bag of tricks. Okay, no end to it. Anyway, let me look at the what's your name. Yes, now Beverly said you have to grow your own food, and some can and some can't. Okay, if you're living in high rises and stuff like that, there ain't nowhere to grow your food unless you're growing it in containers, and then you can only grow so much because you only got so much space. You will never be able to grow enough of your own food to sustain you in a backyard garden or in a container. You just can't do it. You need acres, you know, You need some acres of food because by the time you can it or cook it or whatever, it kind of shrinks down to just about nothing. So it depends on what it is you're growing. But that is a skill that people need to have, and they don't have that nowadays. Now, I have a group that's called Concerned Citizens that we don't meet in person anymore, but I do talk to people. Okay, I do more of a one-on-one kind of a thing when the need arises. And we were meeting once a month, and I was trying to share knowledge with them. I realized that I had people in that group that lived in smaller quarters and didn't have, very many skills, didn't know how to grow their own food, didn't know how to pressure can food or anything like that. So I had people come in and would teach them how to make soil, to make sure that your soil was good and wholesome, how to grow food in containers. And, there are some things you can do. Every little bit helps. Every extra can of food that you get a week, if it's only 4 cans a month, you know, put something on your shelves. Now, let me tell you something. It is a well known fact that when a society collapses, you got like about 3 days to get what you need before it becomes exceptionally dangerous for you to go out and try to get anything. Because by that time, people are absolutely desperate. They're already, I can't even understand how it is that with all the flooding and stuff that has gone on, people are literally out looting. They're having to send the National Guard. What are you looting? Everything is saturated with muddy water. I don't even understand that. What do they do? What are they taking? Unless they're grabbing up canned goods or whatever. I don't understand what people are doing. But there are two YouTubers that I know of that are very credible people as far as I know. And I'm gonna give you their names here in a minute. I did not put it in the description box. So get a piece of paper or get your phone, use your notepad or whatever on your phone. Um, these people I know are doing what they can do down there in Tennessee to help these people. But this storm, back to this storm, my God, it's I ain't never seen nothing like that, except for when that thing went through China. I think that was China a few years back, and the people were up on like the third or fourth floor, and the cars were it's like the ocean came in and just, oh my Lord. And the thing is, what's happening in Tennessee and Georgia and on I-40 and all that, when my husband and I were traveling, we were on that highway. That was just like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. We were on that highway. Oh my Lord, we were in that area and everything was fine. So by the grace of God, we missed it. But 2 channels, I want you to check them out. I don't usually promote other people's stuff, but I've watched these two YouTubers for quite some time, and I think they're very credible people. You make your own decision whether you want to look them up or not. But the first one is Appalachia's Homestead with Patera. Appalachia's Homestead with Patera, Patara, Patera. Okay. The second one is called Pinball Preparedness, Pinball Preparedness, Pinball Preparedness. Now, the last thing that I saw from Pinball was that he had, it wasn't GoFundMe. I can't think what that other business is called. But anyway, he had raised like $80,000 for relief, and he was going to the dollar store and buying up shampoo and just trying to make the money stretch as far as it could go, and taking trailers and tractors and all this kind of stuff down to some meeting spots there. I don't know, it was a high school or whatever down there in Tennessee to try to what they were trying. I guess they were going to use it as a distribution center, pet food and all that. And Patera was doing the same thing. I think she had Bibles and other things like that. So if you want to donate to what they're doing, you're not able to go because there's some places there you can't get in. The only way you can get in is by helicopter because there's no road. There's a couple of towns that are completely cut off. They have no water, they have no food, the roads are gone. They are completely cut off from the rest of the city, and it's a very bad situation. I hope those people have food. I hope they didn't lose everything in this flooding and all that went on. I mean, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I wouldn't even wish it on Nancy Pelosi, or I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Um, okay, Me Too says the backyard garden sucked for me. The wrens, the squirrels, and the other godly creatures are my buffet of. Oh, they ate your buffet. Oh, I know. And the collards and the broccoli. I know. I know. Um, yeah, it's hard to keep the critters out. That's the other thing, right? We had that problem too. I think we were growing kale and broccoli and cabbage, trying to grow. This was a couple of years ago, and the grasshoppers. I think it were grasshoppers. They were just, oh Lord have mercy. They just chewed through the kale, and then of course I had to wire it off because my chickens were like, "Thanks, mom," and they were in it. I had a squirrel. I couldn't get mad at him. Well, I did get mad at him, but I didn't stay mad at him. But there's this one squirrel that just liked to frequent my backyard, and I'm pretty sure it was the same squirrel. But anyhow, he decided he was going to go into my little bin where I was trying to grow some acorn squash. Well, he took my squash, which was just starting, but he left me a stick. So I guess he figured he did some bartering. I guess he figured I needed the stick and he could use the squash. Well, I didn't need a stick. I wanted my squash, but he took my squash and left me a stick. So anyway, that happened. So yeah, all of God's little creatures, you got that to deal with. Um, the birds, yeah, I know. So we had put some netting over to keep the birds out, but then the grasshoppers got in. Oh my gosh. Then we put up this heavy shade cloth because the sun started radiating everything. It just about killed off our corn that we were trying to grow. It's been tough sledding trying to get a garden to grow decent food in here in Oklahoma because the sun just radiated everything. It's been yeah. Anyhow, all right. So listen, you guys. If you have any suggestions for anyone on the channel, when you sign off, put it in the chat, not in this chat, but when you sign off, go to the bottom of the channel, the bottom of the descriptions and all that, and write your comments there. Make some suggestions for other people that are looking at the channel because some people just don't know what to do. They're at their wits' end. They don't know how to get started, even though I've been saying it for a long time and others have been saying it for a long time. They might just be tuning in, or like a lot of other humans, some things just don't hit you until it is you, right? Then all of a sudden it's like, well, what should I do? Well, number one, you should have been listening a long time ago. And number two, it ain't too late yet. There's still something on the shelves, but you need to get it. So the most important thing for you to do is make sure you have water, extra water. All right. That's not just water for drinking. That's water for hygiene and that's water for cooking. And you need a minimum of 2 gallons of water a day for every person in your house. Okay. You ration it. All right. Ration the water, but 2 gallons a day. That makes sure that ensures that you have enough to drink. You have enough to keep yourself clean, and you have to be able to flush your toilets. Now, here's the other thing. Make sure you have gas in your car. Keep it full. I don't care. If you go to the store and you're running around, you're going here, you're going there, and you look and you've burned up a quarter tank of gas, go ahead and get it filled up again. I know, but I got a full tank. Well, it ain't quite full. Keep it full. Now, my thing was, I like to fill up at the halfway mark. I don't care where I am, what I'm doing. When we get to halfway, I want to fill up because, especially when you're on them long, lonely roads and you don't know where the next gas station is, what you don't want to do is be trying to go through the desert or somewhere else on fumes, okay? And you don't have an extra gas tank with you. So have extra gas, at least a 5 gallon jug that you can keep somewhere, and make sure your tank stays full, okay? Make sure you have water, make sure you have food. Even if, now here's the thing with the food, it is what it is now. um and some people say, well, I only eat organic. Well, good luck with that, because ain't no trucks moving, okay? So good luck with that. You're going to eat what you're going to eat. That's what you're going to eat. All right, let you know that right now. You're going to deal with your pride and you're going to eat what's available. That's what you're going to do, or you're going to die. It's just that simple. So do the best you can with what you have. Get the best you can in regard to what's available, but you're going to have to eat what's available. It's just that simple, folks. So watch your money. I'm saying that again. This whole thing with the banks, it ain't over. With this stuff that's going on in the Middle East, it affects the financial markets. It really does. So if you're into buying gold and silver and stuff like that, and you see how it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down, it go way up, and then it comes down a little bit. And then, it's just crazy. It's all over the place with the stocks and the bonds and all that, which I'm not into a lot of that. But watch your finances, because the government, I call it legalized theft. They're already doing that with taxes, but they'll find a way to get into your account and to take from you. I was watching a case the other day. These attorneys were talking about how the United States government went into a bank. I think it was a bank. No, it wasn't a bank. It was a depository. It was where these people, 100 and something, 700 boxes, I think it was. The U.S. government came against this depository company for fraud, right? They thought they were, I don't know, money laundering or whatever. They got a warrant to go into their business establishment and to go through their stuff, right? And to seize the stuff that the business owned, right? The technicality came in where they went into 700 boxes, right? Safety deposit boxes, depository boxes, where people had gold and silver stored, jewelry, all kinds of stuff stored in these individual boxes, and they seized it, right? Now, the technicality was they didn't have a warrant to seize the individual property of these depositors. They had a warrant to go in and take the electronics and all that of this respective business. So now the government is being sued by these people. And the thing is, if they were going to do that, or if there was a reasonable expectation that all of these people were involved in some kind of crime, then the warrant should have been more specific, is what the attorneys were saying. They had a legal obligation when they broke into these boxes to inventory every single item that they put their hand on, right? Well, they kind of did, but they kind of didn't. In other words, if people had, they could have had, I don't know, $25,000 worth of gold coins. They wouldn't put $25,000 or however many coins it was, gold coins or gold Cougarans or whatever. They didn't do that. They just put several random coins. That's what they would do. That's the kind of stuff they put in their report. You know why? So they could steal it. And if there was cash in there, they wouldn't even put that there was cash in there. Yeah. And so one lady, her and her husband, they were able to get back, I think they had something like 87 different 87 coins or 800 and something coins. They got back 47 of them. They were like, what happened to the rest of them? And they're like, well, what rest of them? Because they put down what they were willing to sacrifice, right? But they didn't put down everything that was in those boxes. This is what I tell people. If you don't hold it, you don't own it, folks. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's cash. I don't care if it's jewelry. I don't care if it's whatever. You are your best security. You decide where you want to put it. The minute you put your possessions in the hands of someone else, it becomes vulnerable for seizure. Okay? I'm just telling you, that's the way it is. It's been too many of these stories that have happened. This thing happened last year sometime with Liberty Safes, where the feds went in with a warrant, wanted to get into their safe, wanted to get into the safes of some of the people that bought safes from them, and came with a warrant for them to give them the master code. Now, surprise, surprise, the people that bought safes from Liberty didn't know, number one, there was a master code, and number two, didn't know it was subject to seizure by the federal government. So they were after this one particular guy. They had Liberty, who was a gun owner. He owned a gun shop, and they wanted to shut him down because he's in a liberal state, who doesn't believe in your constitutional right to protect yourself. They decided they were going to go in. They forced Liberty Safe to give them the master code by a warrant. They went into the man's house, pried open his safe, and took his belongings, took everything. I mean, they cleaned him out, took everything. And that too was a catch-22 kind of a thing, because to be able to get information from Liberty Safe about what Liberty Safe is doing is one thing, but to force them to divulge confidential information about their clients or someone that bought merchandise from them is a completely different animal. The problem with this government as it is right now is that they get away with everything, including murder, because the justice system is turned upside down. And so I'm telling you, we're on our own. All right. It's us and God. And if you don't believe in him, this is a good place to start. Right. Because I'd like to see you make this on your own. Really. Anyhow. Let's see here. Uh-oh. they're talking about they're talking about pork. Look, let me tell you something. This is what I believe. I believe any animal living outside, walking through the mud, stepping in their own poo, and all the other kind of stuff is just nasty until you clean it. Okay, you better pray over your food and eat it. All right. I believe in the new covenant that says anything that we put before us is good to be eaten if it's received with thanksgiving. And as long as it's not, dripping with blood and been sacrificed to idols, whatever. Okay. There was a dispute that was going on in the New Testament about this very thing, because they were the Gentiles, they were the Jews, they had different cultural belief systems when it comes to what you should and should not eat and all this kind of stuff. And, whether you should be circumcised, whether you shouldn't be circumcised, what covenant are you living under, blah, 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 blah. Listen, if you don't eat pork, don't eat pork. Some people don't eat beef. I don't know what you're going to do when they make it illegal to have beef and they kill off all the cows. God bless the vegans. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do when they keep radiating all the vegetables and you can't eat it either because no crops are growing. I don't know what the vegans are going to do about that. So I would say this: stop being so picky. Ask God to adjust your palate and thank him for whatever he puts on your table. Okay. That's what I would tell you. Anyhow, Lord have mercy. Okay, then. I'm going to let y'all go. Can you believe that? Donna! Hello there. How are you, my friend? My goodness. Hi, Beverly. Did I say hi to you already? What else y'all talking about? I'm over here missing all the fun. Okay, let me see what else I wanted to say. Look, it was one more thing. This is one more thing I wanna look, y'all. Now, anybody that knows me, clearly I ain't a racist. I'm married to a white man. Okay, so There's that. He said, no fault of my own. Listen, when I became a permanent resident of Canada and when I was a resident in Germany, I had to adjust to their way of life. That's how I came to the conclusion I could not live in Canada. Okay, no, no, and neither could he, or he wouldn't have defected. But anyway, and he was born and raised there and couldn't live there. Yeah, I got to go. But anyhow, the problem that people are having with what is going on now is that there is not the same requirements put on the immigrants that are coming into our country that a citizen could go to jail for. Okay, you cannot sneak into another country or just think you're entitled to entry to another country, break their laws, assault their law enforcement, steal anything you want under $1,000, and not be put in a black hole somewhere. Okay, because they ain't having it. All right, they ain't having it. When I went to Canada, I had to pay money, folks. I had to go through a physical. I had to have certain tests done to make sure I wasn't carrying some kind of a disease that could infect their population. I had to answer a lot of very intrusive questions. My background was checked. I was fingerprinted. Okay. My name went into the FBI database. All right. Let me just tell you, it was a thing. There was a whole thing that I had to go through, and that whole thing, quicker than most, it took me 10 months to get through that process. It was not easy. Okay. Um, so people feel some kind of way when people just kind of walk in, have no respect for your culture, have no respect for your way of life, and then want to steal from you, rape you, kill you, beat you with impunity. And the police in your city have been defunded, so they ain't coming to help you either. Okay. And if you try to help yourself, you're going to jail. That was Canada. Do you know if somebody broke into your home in that country, at least in our province where we live, and did you bodily harm and tried to kill you and you killed them first, you're going to jail for homicide. Mm, yep. There ain't no such thing as self-defense. It's pretty sketchy over there in Canada. We had to get out of there. It was crazy. It was turned upside down, just like they're trying to do here. So I can't think of another country that you can go to and do whatever you want to do, and there's not some kind of penalty for that. All right. So I just want to drill it into your mind that this administration cares nothing about you and yours. All right. Please get that through your head, because if you looking for them to help, if they're telling you now that when they get into the White House, they're going to do this, they're going to secure the border, they're going to make sure you have this, and they are lying. Okay. They have already campaigned on you don't get to protect yourself, and we're going to let the criminals out of jail, and we're going to let them steal whatever they want to steal, because after all, they're just seeking a better life. I mean, it is just the mind manipulation. I mean, you got to be a special kind of stupid to buy into that. I'm not kidding. I'm not even trying to be mean. Okay. I'm just telling you, at this point, looking around at what has happened to our food, what has happened to our country, what has happened to our citizens, what has happened to our veterans, and you think it's a good idea to vote for more of the same in a month's time, I do not feel sorry for whatever comes your way. I don't. God bless you. Okay. I want to hear from you when it comes to your door. That's what I want to know. You just you know some folks are anointed for greatness, and some folks just got an anointing for stupid. I don't know I don't know how that happened, but anyhow, whatever. Oh Lord, let me get off here. How's it going in Arizona, Donna? All right, y'all. I will answer your comments, okay, in the comment section of this video, not the chat, the comment section. And also, it helps the channel when you comment. It helps them push it out because it shows that there's an interest. So when you hit, you know, like, or you make a comment or whatever, and there's dialogue going on, it helps the algorithm push the channel out to other people. Because I know it's really late in the game. It ain't too late yet, but it's late in the game. But believe it or not, there's still some people that are slowly, they are running out of excuses. They're running out of excuses for why they should vote for this. They're starting to see that they've been lied to, right? Because all the promises that you're hearing now, when I get in the White House, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fix the economy. Wait a minute. You've been saying for the last 4 years, this is the best economy ever. What is there to fix? What you going to fix? You're either lying now or you were lying then, because this is supposed to be the best economy ever. Well, it was, but not for you. Okay. It was good for them. It was good for them. They're raking in all this money. They're taking all the tax dollars. They were lining their pockets. Best economy ever. If you were in that percentage of people that were getting that was laundering the money, of course it was the best economy ever for them, not for you paying $7 for a dozen eggs or whatever. Not for you. That these people are so far removed from the average day working individual. It's ridiculous. They have lost their grasp on reality. Okay, so don't expect anything they do or say to make sense. Okay. Amber said Ukraine is doing well. Yeah, I imagine they are. They got a whole lot of money. And what's his name? Zelensky just got another, what is it, $8 billion or eight, whatever it was. I'll tell you what. Somebody asked the president, Mr. Biden, if he was sending any money to help with this crisis in Tennessee and Georgia and all that. He says, well, we already sent them some money. No, we're not sending them anymore. But you're going to keep sending money to Ukraine. And you got 3-4 of your states have been flooded out almost completely. But you got money for a war. You got money for Ukraine. They don't care about you. Okay, they don't. Get it through your head. I love you. I love you. That's why I'm on here telling you what I'm telling you. Anyhow. All right, guys. I'll see you down in the comment section. If you got some comments, make sure you write them. Leave them down there. I answer all my comments. All right. So I will see you in the comment section. I'm going to let you go because I try not to keep you longer than an hour. This thing got crazy. Anyhow, you guys take care. Get your food. Stay prepped up. Stay prayed up. Stay peaceful. I'll see you the next time I come on. I love you. God bless and Godspeed.